If you're like millions of others, you likely suffer from some form of anxiety or depression, at least from time to time. If that's the case, then definitely stick around through the end of this video because we're going to talk about how to manifest despite anxiety and depression. And I'm also going to give you some tips on how to beat it for good. What is up, you guys? I am Missy Renee, and on today's video, we're going to talk about how to get rid of anxiety and depression when manifesting. So that way you'll have a much easier time in creating a life that you love and creating a life that you desire to live. So if manifestation and conscious creation are topics that you are interested in learning more about, then definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that way you're notified every time I put out new videos every week. If you're interested in talking to me one-on-one about your specific situation, then I will leave the links below to one-on-one coaching, and I'll have more resources for you down in the description box below. So I wanted to make this video after I've talked to several people, a lot of clients, a lot of friends, and a lot of family about this. A question that I get often is, how am I able to manifest if I'm feeling anxious or depressed all the time? Is my anxiety and or depression going to interfere with my ability to do this? Am I going to be thrown off course because I'm feeling anxious or because I'm just in a bad mood, having a bad day? So if these are questions that you're asking yourself, if this is something that you are interested in learning more about, stick around through the end of this video because we're going to talk about how to manifest despite the anxiety and depression. And I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you can combat this, how you can get rid of that shitty negative feeling to make your manifestation journey that much smoother. And just a really quick announcement before we begin, I want to let you guys know about my workshop coming up January 9th on how to manifest wealth and abundance. This course is going to be a deep dive, step-by-step approach in what you need to do and what you need to change and how to transform yourself to allow abundance and financial prosperity into your life. I will leave the link to the course down in the description box below, along with a 50% off coupon, good through January 1st. So that's this Saturday coming up. So if you want to bring more prosperity and more abundance into your life, into the new year and beyond, definitely sign up for this course, take advantage of that 50% off coupon, and I will see you there. Managing depression and anxiety can feel like an endless and impossible task. When you're in the throes of it, it can completely take over your life. And I know from personal experience because I have absolutely 100% been there. I've talked about it briefly in other videos, but a little bit more about my backstory with anxiety and depression. I had crippling anxiety for years. In my young adulthood, and honestly up until maybe a handful of years ago, I had terrible, terrible depression and anxiety. I had thoughts every day about wanting to hurt myself or no longer exist. Now, this is no way to bring anybody down or to make anybody upset. I'm just being completely 100% honest with you guys. And I want you to know that I've been there. This was a battle that I fought on the daily for a very, very, very long time. And at its peak, my anxiety was so bad that I could not even leave the house. I would get convulsions. It got so bad. At its worst, I couldn't even get out of bed except to go to the bathroom and get a couple bites to eat. I had lost a lot of weight. I was clearly not well, and it was a nightmare. So believe me when I say I know that feeling, and I know that yes, in fact, you can overcome this. If I can do it, I assure you, anybody can do this. A lot of people come to me with this fear that their anxiety and depression is going to get in the way of their manifestation and that they can't manifest because of this. First thing I want to do is debunk this notion entirely. You are always manifesting 24/7 all the time. There is never a moment where you are not manifesting. This is something that comes as naturally to you and I as breathing. So it doesn't matter what mood you're in, you are constantly doing this. And you don't have to always be upbeat and positive and happy 24/7. That is not realistic. And let's just be clear about that. And in fact, it's not necessary. That is one of my biggest things with the law of attraction and what the law of attraction teaches. I actually believe a lot of the teachings surrounding positive vibes and being high vibe can be kind of toxic. And again, it's not realistic. Now, I want to give a disclaimer here. I am obviously not a doctor or a medical professional. So if you are having feelings of intense self-harm or suicide, or if this is something that is greatly impacting your life, then definitely speak to a doctor or a medical professional first. And if you are taking certain kinds of medications, I'm not encouraging anybody to just stop. Just wanted to make that clear. That said, you can absolutely change the circumstances around you. And you can also change the mindset and get rid of that anxiety and depression for good. I know from personal experience, and I've also spoken to many people who have done this, and it is possible. There are millionaires and billionaires who are manifesting wealth 24/7, even when they're in a bad mood, and even when they're having a bad day. There are people with their soulmate who have manifested their specific person who are still in loving, committed relationships, even when they're in a bad mood and having a bad day. So rest assured, just because you're having a funk moment, just because you are having a moment where it's not good, does not mean that you can't manifest whatever it is that you want. So I want to offer a little bit of assurance for you guys and really hone in and make it clear that no matter what, you can still manifest whatever it is that you want. Now, that said, I do want to make sure that we understand exactly how manifesting works. You manifest whatever you believe to be true. You manifest from your state of being or the concept of yourself that you believe to be true. This is at the core, the very essence of how we manifest. We manifest our state or the experience that we have, including the beliefs, the assumptions, the expectations, the events that occur, the way people treat us and how they show up in our lives. All of that is formed through our state, or what state we dwell in. And the state that we dwell in is determined by our self-concept, how we view ourselves and how we view the world around us. I know I sound like a broken record talking about this, but it really does bear to be repeated over and over again. And if I have to say it a million times, then damn it, I'm going to say it a million times, because this is key here. You manifest what you believe to be true about yourself and about the world around you. So what we want to avoid is dwelling on things that we don't want. We want to take our focus away from anything that we don't desire and instead put it back on what we want, and make sure that we are doing this from the place of already having whatever it is that we want. These are the fundamentals, and this is absolutely true. Now, I know you're probably looking at me and saying, well, sure, Missy, that's great and all, but how the hell do I live from the end when I'm always anxious? How do I get rid of all these obsessive negative thoughts that are playing out and keep myself in that state of the wish fulfilled? Before I dive into the tips and give you guys some resources into how to combat this, I want to talk for a minute about what anxiety and depression actually are. This way I can hopefully get you to take an objective step back and kind of look at where your thoughts are and what exactly they mean and how little power they actually have over you. Because when we're anxious, that's usually just our mind spinning about the future. This is the fight or flight response when we are faced with a situation coming up, or worst case scenario about a situation that gets us into that hamster wheel of doom. Your thoughts are just an extension of your state. And I want to be clear about that. Your thoughts themselves do not create. They are the byproduct of your current state, where you're dwelling. And again, that comes back to the self-concept. That comes back to what you believe to be true about you and your situation and everything going on around you. And the same thing goes for depression. Depression usually stems from events from the past and keeping ourselves locked in those places of sadness and sorrow and regret and looking back on events with certain frustration and despair. But again, these thoughts and these feelings do not define you. And that is the first tip I want to give you guys. When you catch yourself in a moment where your thoughts are spinning, whether you're going through a bout of anxiety or whether you're battling some depression, some sadness, or just an all-around funk, I want you to go back to the first principle, and that is I am. Be still and know that I am God. You are so much more than your body. You are so much more than your thoughts. You are so much more than your circumstances. And I want you to really take a moment to let that sink in. When you catch yourself having that spinning wheel in your head, when you catch yourself just in a bad day, in a bad mood, remember that first principle. I am. I am awareness. I am consciousness. I am the creator in my world. I am that I am. And really go within and just take a moment to just be still and remember that you are a powerful creator. First and foremost, you are not your thoughts. You are not your circumstances. You are not this bad feeling. None of that. You have the ability and the capacity to rise above anything that you are currently going through and stay present. Stay right here and right now. Shut off everything that is supposed to happen in the future. Shut off everything from the past and just be still. Know that I am. And that ties in with the second tip that I have for you guys. And I've preached about it before, and I'm going to keep preaching about it, and that is meditation. If I had to pick one thing that actually did it for me when it came to getting rid of my anxiety and depression, I would say meditation, hands down. Because when you go into that stillness, when you go into that quiet, when you shut out the senses and when you really go within, that's where your power lies. That is where you can let these feelings go. You can let them pass. You can observe them, you can notice them, you can acknowledge them, and then let them go. Let them float by like clouds in the sky, and know that they have no power over you, except for the power that you give them. Meditate for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you can do, but I'm telling you guys, this practice will help you in so many ways. But one of the biggest takeaways from meditating on a consistent basis is beating anxiety and depression. And there is medical science to prove this. This is not woo-woo new age BS. There is science behind this one, so take advantage of it. 10 minutes a day, just to start. I'm telling you, meditation alone will change your life. The third tip that I have for you guys is similar to the first two, but a little bit more on the affirmation side. And this is something that I still do to this day. If I catch myself in a bad mood, or if I catch myself feeling that anxiety coming up, if I feel a wave of sadness, anything like that, take a timer, set it for 10 minutes, and recite some positive affirmations. They may sound totally bogus in that moment at first, but if you take 10 minutes and set a timer and sit down and tell yourself all of the reasons why you are amazing and you are lovable and all of the good things that you can think about yourself that you can muster, this will have an impact. Just 10 minutes. And for that whole 10 minutes, make sure that you are reciting positive affirmations about yourself. You really want to key in on the self-love here. You really want to give yourself all of the love and all of the respect that you would give to a loved one, a family member, or your best friend. Affirm that you are loved. Affirm that you are beautiful. Affirm that everything is okay. And that one, most of all, had to have been the most helpful for me. When I was in the throes of anxiety, sometimes all I could do was literally close my eyes and just say that I'm safe and I'm okay. Right now, I am safe and I'm okay. After the 10 minutes is up, you can go back to thinking crappy thoughts if you want, but you're going to find that you're not going to want to. It's going to feel kind of weird to immediately shift back into those self-destructing thoughts. So if anything, this gives you a break from that spinning wheel in your head. This kind of puts that, okay, you know what? Yeah, no, I am okay. I am in fact safe, and I am loved, and I am beautiful, and I got this. The last tip I want to give you guys is to do the same thing that you would do for anything else that you were trying to manifest. Use your imagination. Your imagination is your power. That is the thing that gives you all of the tools to create whatever it is that you want in your life. Utilize this power. Use your imagination. And when you are getting ready to go to bed at night, or after you wake up in the morning, first thing, when you're still in that groggy twilight state akin to sleep, imagine talking to a friend or a family member and hear them tell you about how much you seem like you're doing better. Tell them in imagination about how much you're feeling better, and hear that happiness in your voice and hear that relief in their voice as you talk about how much better you're doing. You can visualize a scene and have that other person with you in that scene, or if visualizing is difficult for you, you can just hear it. Hear the conversation. Auditory, imaginal acts are just as potent and powerful as visualizing it. But either way, just imagine that you are, in fact, that bright and happy and cheerful and self-confident person that you desire to be. And watch how fast that depression and anxiety starts to melt away. You will feel a shift, and you will notice this in your day-to-day. But imagine that you are confirming that you no longer suffer from this anxiety and depression. Feel it in your imagination. Give it as much sensory vividness as you can until it feels real and that you're living that scene right now. As I say in every single video, test this. Put it to the test and give it a try. You will be absolutely amazed at what happens. And just know above all else that no matter what, you can and you will get through this. I know it sounds cliche as hell, but there is a light at the end of that tunnel. And by doing these techniques and by doing these manifestation tips, you're not just manifesting things, you're not just manifesting your person or money, you're also changing that mindset. You're also shifting into a state where you're not going to be plagued by those terrible thoughts. You're not going to be plagued by those shitty moods. So persist in that imaginal act, persist in meditation, and really just give yourself all the love that you absolutely deserve. And know that you are not your thoughts. You are not what these thoughts are telling you. You are so much bigger than that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in checking out any of my other resources, I will leave the links to one-on-one coaching, my blog, and my social links down in the description box below. And do not forget to check out these videos over here. Each video is a different topic, but they all pertain in how to manifest the very best life for you. So until we meet again, you guys, take care, be well, and never forget you are so much more than those shitty thoughts. Never forget how powerful you truly are. Happy manifesting, you guys.